Okay, today we're going to take a look at section 3536. By the end of this lesson, we are going to hope that we can perform operations with matrices and also multiply matrices. So the first thing we need to look at are some definitions. A matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and in columns. Your rows are always going to go left to right or horizontal, and your columns are going to be up and down. The dimensions of the matrix are the numbers of rows by the number of columns. The numbers within the matrix are called the elements. And if two matrices are equal, if their dimensions are the same and the elements in the corresponding positions are the same. So if you take a look, we just have an example matrix here. So I have matrix A. It has 2 rows and 3 columns. So 2 rows and 3 columns. And then if we need to look at element in the first row and third column, that's going to be the number 5. So if we take a look at our first section, we're going to be adding and subtracting matrices. One key thing we need to remember here is you always need to make sure that the dimensions are the same. So if we take a look at our first example, I have a 2 by 2 because I have 2 rows and 2 columns. Same thing for the second one. So I can go ahead and add these together. So when we add or subtract, you're just going to add or subtract the elements in the corresponding position. So I have 3 plus negative 1, which gives me 2. Negative 5 plus 2 is a negative 3. 0 plus 4 gives me 4. And negative 1 plus 0 is negative 1. So your answer in the end should still be a matrix with the same dimensions. If I take a look at part B, I have a 3 by 2 and a 3 by 2. So I have the same dimensions. So again, I can go ahead and just subtract these. So I have 7 minus a minus 2, so that's going to give me 9. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Negative 1 minus a negative 3 gives me a positive 2. 4 minus 5 is a negative 1. Negative 2 minus a negative 10 is a positive 8. And then 6 minus 1 gives me 5. Pretty easy. You're just, again, whatever operation you see, that's what you're going to do in the corresponding element. So if we take a look at our next one, our dimensions are a little bit different here. I have a 2 by 1 and a 2 by 2. So this is not possible for us to add or subtract because those dimensions need to be the same. All right, moving on to our next section, we're going to look at scalar multiplication. So a real number is often called a scalar. So to multiply by a scalar, what we're going to do is distribute it to each term within the matrix. So if I were to do this with my first one, I have a negative 8, negative 2, negative 4. Then I'm going to have a positive 2 because, again, I'm going to go to that second round. 2 times 0 is 0. And then negative 2 times 7 is a negative 14. So that's all we had to do here. You're really just distributing that scalar on the outside to each element within the matrix. Now this next one, we're going to double check here and make sure that we have the correct dimensions because we do have the addition and subtraction. I do have a 2 by 2 in each one, so I can add these, but we have that 4 on the outside. So the first thing we need to do is take care of that multiplication. So I'm actually going to show you guys how to do this in your calculator. If you have the new operating system, I'm going to show you that first. So I'm going to take 4, and then you go alpha y equals, then hit your zoom button for matrix, and you're going to put in the dimensions of the matrix that you need. I already have 2 by 2 highlighted, so you can go ahead and hit OK. And then you're going to enter in your information. So I have a negative 2, I have negative 8, next one is going to be 0, and then 5. Make sure you arrow out. Then we have our addition sign. So I, again, am going to go alpha y equals, hit that zoom button, Again, I have all the same dimensions, so I'm going to keep those highlighted. Hit OK. I have -3, 8, -5, and 6. If I arrow over out of our matrix here and hit enter, it will give me my answer. So for this one, I'll just write it off to the side here so I don't have to move my calculator. We have -11, -24, 26, and -5. So this is my answer for part B after multiplying and adding and subtracting. Now real quick, for those of you that don't have the new operating system, I'm going to show you guys how to do this in your calculator the other way. If you do not have the other operating system, this is where you're going to have to go. So again, you're going to go to second and then hit the inverse button here. And you're going to first go over to edit. We're going to edit that first matrix. And here you still have to put your dimensions in. So I have a 2 by 2. So again, I'm going to enter the same information and we're just going to do the same problem all over again. So I have -2, -8, 5, and 0. Hit enter here. Okay, so now I go second quit. The next thing I need to do is go back into that matrix window. So second, and then that inverse button. The next thing we're going to do is still go to edit, and we're going to edit that second one, so matrix B. Again, we're going to go 2 by 2 and enter in the information for that second matrix, so -3, 8, 6, and -5. Go to second quit. Now from here, you're going to put your 4 in, then you're going to go to your matrix window again. This time you're going to go and stay on that main screen of 1, and then we have our addition, second matrix 2, which gives me B. If I hit enter, I get the same exact answer. So you either have 2 screens to go into. You're either going into the alpha y equals, or you're going into that second matrix screen. Alright, moving on then. If we take a look at the next section here, we're just going to look at multiplying matrices. So the product of 2 matrices are defined by the provided number of columns needs to be equal to the number of rows. So first thing we need to check for is these need to be the same, and your resulting matrix will be the numbers from the outsides. So the insides need to match, and the outsides need to make our new matrix dimensions. So if A is Mn and B is Np, then the product of AB is Mx, or M times X matrix. So this is looking at those dimensions. So first thing we're going to do is just figure out the dimensions here. So first thing, we need to see if the middle terms are the same. So these are the same. So matrix AB is going to have the dimensions of a 4 by 2. Looking at our next one, if we look here, these aren't the same. So it's not possible to multiply these together. Alright, we have one last example to look at here. Sorry, wrong way. One last example to look at. When we are multiplying matrices, we are just going to put them right into our calculator to find the product. So if I go to my calculator here, and again, you can do either route. So I'll do example A with the alpha y equals, and then I'll do the second one in our other way with the second matrix. So my first one, I'm going to have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2. So those middle terms do match, so we can multiply them together. So I'm going to go alpha y equals, go over to my matrix, make sure 2 by 2 is highlighted, hit enter here. So I have 1, 4, -2, and 3. Make sure you arrow out, and then I'm going to multiply that by the second one. So again, alpha y equals, my zoom. Again, I have that 2 by 2. So I have 5, -7, 6, and 9. So if I arrow out and hit enter, your answer should be 41, 17, -3, and 33. So I have 41, 17, -3, and -33. So that's our first one. So our next one, if we take a look here and we write the dimensions just to double check, I have 3 rows by 2 columns and a 2 by 2. So again, these are the same, so we can multiply them together, and we should expect for AB to be a 3 by 2. Again, I'm going to put this right in my calculator. This time I'm going to go with the other option, so I'm going to go to second, and then matrix. Again, I got to edit that first one. This time it's going to be a 3 by 2. So I have -3, 3, 1, -2, 4, and 6. So second quit. I'm going to go back in there again and edit matrix B. So go over to edit. This time we're going to hit 2 because we want to edit B. So I have a 2 by 2, so I can keep these dimensions and just go through this information again. So I have 1, 5, -3, and -2. Okay, so now I'm going to go to second quit, and then I'm going to go to second matrix. I'm going to take matrix A and go back into my matrix menu, multiply it by matrix B, and this is our answer here. Remember, we said we should have had a 3 by 2, so that's one good way to check. So my answer for B, I have -12, -21, 7, and 9, -14, and 8. Alright, that's all I have for you guys today.